And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Saturday, folks. We are going to see if the machines want to get the revenge. It's 1-1, us versus the machines these last 2 weeks, in kind of big picks that we feel heavy on and the machines feel heavy on. So it's 1-1 right now. If the machines want the tiebreaker, we'll give the machines what they want. So we're going to watch the NFL.com score predictions and probabilities video again this week, seeing where our picks stack up to what the NFL's algorithm and the machines say. And if there's some real disrespect that the machines are giving, maybe they want to try and, get the win 2-up on us. And, if they get 2-up on us, that's not good. So we'll see if the machines want the smoke this week or not. We'll leave it up to them. We are cool of just leaving it 1-1, folks. So we'll watch that video today. And then, we've got to break down the NBA from yesterday. And we don't have to put a clock on today because we've got time today, folks. So we're not constrained to 10 minutes in our NBA Daily 10. So no clock today talking about the NBA. Love it. And then there's a couple of stories that we have to kind of go over that we didn't have really any time to talk about during the week. So we'll see what these players and coaches are saying this week, getting ready for the big action going on tomorrow in Week 7 in the NFL. So without further ado, let's start with the NBA with our NBA 10 clockless edition for the first time. No restraints talking about the NBA. Woof, because there was a lot of them, so thank goodness. But let's start with the Hornets at the Cavs in a big old win for this Hornets team. And I'm so upset, folks. This Cavs team, folks, this is not a good team overall. Jared Allen is probably the best player on this team, and his talents are kind of getting wasted a little bit. Colin Sexton finally showed up. He didn't really show up game one. Colin Sexton, 33 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 2 of 7 from 3. Not the greatest, but 62% on 21 shots. We will take that all day long. Unfortunately, no Darius Garland in this game, so Ricky Rubio takes over at the 1 and had a pretty good performance. 15 points, 10 assists. I mean, that's all you really want this man to do out here. 3 of 6 from the 3, 41% on 12 shots. I mean, we'll take that kind of all day. Unfortunately, the defensive effort wasn't really there for any of these starters. Ricky Rubio, a -9. How many did they lose by? They lost by 11 points. Yeah, you expect the minuses here on this team. So just unfortunate. Couldn't really lock up this Hornets team, and hopefully Darius Garland's back. We need Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, and Jared Allen really to go beast mode every single game if the Cavs want a chance to win this game. There's really nothing great off this bench. Kevin Love, he's all right. Shot 2 of 8. He had 11 rebounds. We respect that, but we don't expect the big old points by this man. And then, C.D. Osman, he shot 4 of 8 off the bench, 9 points. He was a +4, so I'll give him that, but we're not expecting any real big points or any real big consistent efficiency off this bench. So we know this Cavs team isn't the greatest, but they got Jared Allen, so I guess there's one reason to tune in. Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, always good as well, but they're a little spotty, and they're also young, getting their stuff together this year. So we'll see how they progress for the rest of the season, but 0-2 start for this Cavs team, not the greatest. All right, the Hornets, man-to-man, LaMelo Ball still getting it done. 17 points, 5 steals, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Truly doing it all while shooting 66% from the field. That's exactly what we need LaMelo Ball to do. And we know he does more than this, a lot more than this, but we'll take this all day long. Terry Rozier playing the 2, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Mason Plumlee, 7 points with the 14 big old boards right there. Kind of got postered by Jared Allen in this game as well. I mean, this is like the worst part about this Hornets team is the big Mason Plumlee, and that's no disrespect to Mason Plumlee. He's a solid big, but he's not like a tier 1 big, like a Jared Allen or an AD or anything like that, obviously. So Mason Plumlee's just trying to do what he needs to do to help out this team, and he's doing it so far these first 2 games, so we'll give the man credit. But, this Hornets team, if they do get into the playoffs, that's going to be kind of the spot where they really could potentially use some deep bench support a little bit, or maybe at the trade deadline go out and get that kind of star player to really round out this team, because this is going to be, if they do get into the playoffs and try to go deep in the playoffs, that's going to be where they're exposed kind of at the bigs. So we'll see if Mason Plumlee can continue to kind of do what he's doing here, maybe even get a little bit better, try to get into that kind of superstar caliber big category. We doubt it happens, but we'll hope. Miles Bridges at the 4, 30, big 0.7 rebounds. Gordon Hayward, 18 points on efficient as heck shooting, 4 of 7 from the 3. And I'm absolutely loving Kelly Oubre off the bench, folks. I hope this stays, because wasn't he in the starting lineup game 1? I'm almost positive he was. But having Kelly Oubre off the bench, that's exactly where he fits, folks. And he absolutely beasted it out. 27 minutes off the bench, we'll give him that all day. 25 points on efficient as heck shooting. Kelly Oubre, please stay on the bench and just kind of run this second team, because this is a solid, good second team as well, with Kelly Oubre Jr., PJ Washington, 8 points. He was a plus 11 on the floor. Cody Martin, Ish Smith. So this is a solid kind of second rotation right here. And I kind of want Kelly Oubre leading this charge while LaMelo is on the bench. So I'm kind of liking what the Hornets are doing so far early on in the season. And, LaMelo Ball already, going to be fantastic. I mean, he's already picking up exactly where he left off last season, if not better. So LaMelo Ball, no question marks on this man. Not that there was really any, but he's truly getting it done. So I'm really interested in this Hornets team, and we'll see how far they can kind of go this year, and how good they can be facing against some of the good teams, the best teams in the league. Obviously, the Cavs aren't that, but they get the win and take care of business, getting it done. So, Hornets win 123-112. Alrighty, next game up is the Knicks at the Magic, and another win for this Knicks team, and kind of pretty good out here. So here we go. Julius Randle still, once again, regular season. Julius Randle is a hit, folks. He's a big old hit in this league. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, a plus 24 on the floor. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this is where, the discussion is kind of coming in for this Knicks team. I want Derrick Rose at the starting 1. Please get Kemba Walker on the bench, folks. I like Derrick Rose better than Kemba Walker here as a starting point guard. And I mean, when we watch, the small sample size of these two kind of working together this season, Derrick Rose is just way more efficient and is looking for the big play to make, not kind of make the big play himself by scoring the ball. So, I mean, they both played, equal minutes out here. Derrick Rose, 23 minutes off the bench. Kemba Walker, 21 minutes in the starting rotation. Just move Derrick Rose to that starting lineup. I mean, out of 23 minutes, they both took 8 shots. Derrick Rose 12 points, Kemba Walker 11 points, but the big difference is 7 assists by Derrick Rose, only 1 assist by Kemba Walker. Please get Derrick Rose in the starting lineup. Let Kemba Walker handle the second team. The second team is pretty good as well. I mean, you get Emmanuel Quickley, Alex Burks, and Obi Toppin. I mean, another manageable second squad out here. So let Kemba Walker deal with that. I think Derrick Rose just gives you the better leadership, the better playability. He's looking to make kind of the big pass, not always looking to score. We know Kemba Walker can get a little carried away, kind of trying to score the ball, chucking up some bad threes, usually not the most efficient while doing that as well. So I just really want to see Derrick Rose at the 1, Kemba Walker coming off the bench. We'll see if they make that switch at any point this season, but I just think you would get a better start to your offense with Derrick Rose in the starting rotation. Evan Fournier, another solid game. He had a beast game 1, another kind of solid game right here. 18 points on 4 of 9 from the 3. We'll take that. A plus 16 on the floor. Mitchell Robinson getting it done at the 5, 6 points, 9 rebounds, and then RJ Barrett. Nothing great here, but he only took 8 shots, 7.7 rebounds. Hey, just doing exactly what he needs to do. Everybody just truly doing their part here. And just look at all this bench help. Absolutely great bench help. We talked about Derrick Rose's bench help. Fantastic. Emmanuel Quickley, 16 points, a plus 11 on the floor in only 19 minutes. Alec Burks off the bench, 12 points, 7 assists, 7 assists, fantastic. Plus 20 in 18 minutes on the floor. And then Obi Toppin, 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and a plus 14 in only 23 minutes. This is exceptional work here by this Knicks team. And kind of, they are a little stacked out here, not in kind of A1, tier 1 superstar talent, but in solid tier 2. I mean, all these players are kind of tier 2 talent. I don't know if we're ready to put Julius Randle in kind of tier 1 with like a LeBron and Kevin Durant and James Harden and Jason Tatum and all those kind of players. He's definitely solid, don't get us wrong. Maybe have to see a good playoff performance first before we put him in tier 1, but these are all solid tier 2, and they're deep, and they're all scoring at a solid pace out here. So give credit to this Knicks team early. We'll see how long they can keep it up. They're 2-0, and we'll see how long that this team can last. All right, then we get the Magic, and there's just nothing good on this team, folks. Cole Anthony in his second year trying to prove that he belongs in kind of, the discussion of the rookies from last year of, LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards wants to kind of be in that, hey, talk about me like those guys, but obviously can't really do it all himself, and he's got no help support here on this team. I mean, this is the starting 5 for this Magic team. Jalen Suggs at the 1, Cole Anthony at the 2, Franz Wagner at the 3, Wendell Carter Jr. at the 4, and Mo Bamba at the 5. Okay. I mean, we see just nobody really doing anything great out here. Mo Bamba, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Wendell Carter, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Cole Anthony shot 21% on 14 shots. That's not going to get it done. Jalen Suggs, 23% on 17 shots. Not going to get it done out here. So I don't know how much in depth we're going to be talking about this Magic team this season, but they blew everything up at the end of last year before kind of the trade deadline, and they did not rebuild good in this offseason. They did not. Did they get anybody? Who'd they get? I mean, this is not anything great, folks. So truly unfortunate if you're a Magic fan. Truly unfortunate if you're a Magic fan. I think that's really all we can kind of say about this team. Man, oh man, just nothing good. And I apologize for the Magic fans listening to this. I don't mean to knock y'all or disrespect y'all or anything like that, but this is not, I mean, what, 12 wins? Are we looking at 12, 20 wins this season? I apologize, folks, but that's the Magic. Well, good win by this Knicks team. Alrighty, next game up is the Pacers at the Wizards, and once again, the Pacers lose by 1 point. Excruciating loss here, and losing by kind of the same fashion. Kind of late second shot right here, tied at 131. Davis Bertans, look at this man being clutch as heck. Step back 3-point, it drains. Bango puts him up 3, and then the Pacers just couldn't get anything else. And then they hit a free throw, puts the game out of reach. But very well done by Davis Bertans, man. Absolutely fantastic 3 right there to really seal the game and getting it done for the Washington Wizards. Now, unfortunate for this Pacers team, another loss here, and this is kind of what we expect. Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, they're solid, but they don't really result into wins. They don't really know how to close out the close games, and this goes back to last year. What did they make the playoffs last year? Let me get that up quickly, just to kind of refresh our memory on what happened in the finals. We predicted the Bucks won at the beginning of the playoffs last season, and me and Colin Coward were like the only ones that really predicted the Bucks to win, but we digress on that. But let's get a nice friendly reminder of what happened in the playoffs. Maybe they didn't even get into the playoffs. I think they got into the play-in tournament, but ended up losing. So let me see if I can get this up quickly. Because the unfortunate thing about this, Pacers team is just they kind of fade into the background. Sabonis is a real solid player, but he never really gets the recognition he deserves. And this Pacers team overall is just not getting in kind of the main spotlight to help him out and be like, hey, y'all need to take a look at this man because they're losing games kind of actively. So here we go. We got this is 2020. We need 2021. That's my fault for not typing it in right. Here we go, 2021. We are in the 2021-2022 season. All right, what do we got? Here we go. Hopefully they show us the play-in tournament as well. What do we got? What did they finish? Yeah, I don't even think they finished in, they didn't even get here, folks. They didn't even get into the playoffs. They lost in the play-in tournament, I believe. They got into the play-in tournament. They show the play-in tournament here on Wikipedia. Good old wiki. I don't think they show that. But either way, this Pacers team is losing games like they have been all their entire franchise long over the last couple of seasons. But either way, Sabonis, and this is a little interesting. They moved Sabonis to the 5 and Miles Turner at the 4. Game number 1, Miles Turner was at the 5. Sabonis was at the 4. They lose by 1. They switch it around. They still lose by 1. Now, they got great production from these two players, but that's really all that they have greatly right here. Sabonis, 28 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds, efficient as heck, 76% on 13 shots. Miles Turner, 40 piece, 10 rebounds on 5 of 9 from 3, 68% on 22 shots. Real great there. Malcolm Brogdon did his damnedest to be a great 3 here. 28 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 54% on 22 shots. Really good there. Just unfortunate they lose by 1, but this is what the Pacers are. Great stats, they lose. They're kind of like the Vikings of the NFL. Great stats by Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. Great stats here by Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner, but they don't win games. They're not kind of one of the highly talked about teams. They're just, no, yeah, that was good. Oh, they lost. Oh, okay, unfortunate. I mean, that's how you talk about the Pacers. That's how you talk about the Vikings. That's what it is. It's unfortunate. We'll see if they can turn it around as this season progresses. But, you know, these first 2 games, we're seeing the same things that we've been seeing about this Pacers team for the last at least 5 seasons. And it's a little tiresome. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. Y'all are almost good. Get good, and then we'll talk about you. It's really unfortunate here. Also, Torrey Craig, 11 minutes. Come on, get that man in some more minutes here. He did go 0 of 2. You got to get better as well, my man. But Torrey Craig could be a huge piece to this bench rotation. We'll see if he kind of starts getting into his own here. All right, then the Washington Wizards, folks. Kyle Kuzma, now his team finally. And, hey, I got to give credit to Kyle Kuzma. This was a real great performance right here. I mean, he wanted all the smoke. He wanted to be a main part of that Lakers team. Just unfortunately, there was no space, for him with LeBron and AD on the floor at the same time. And, he wasn't really getting it done with the bench players. So they were like, yeah, you can be the main man, just not on the Lakers. You got to go somewhere else. He's with the Washington Wizards this season, and he's still playing the 4 here. 26 points, 11 rebounds. He was efficient, 5 of 8 from 3, 10 of 17 from the field. He was a minus 12 on the floor, which was the worst on the team. So once again, his defense needs to kind of clean up a little bit out here. But overall, I'll give this man some solid credit early on. We'll see if he can kind of advance into the role of truly kind of leading this team to, wins consistently. Fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the season. So we'll see if Kyle Kuzma's able to live up to that. Not a lot of great pieces. They've got good pieces. Spencer Dinwiddie, kind of his first chance to be the main man on a team as a starting point guard here. And he took advantage as well. 34 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Aaron Holiday at the 2, 7 points. Daniel Gafford playing the 5 here, 8 points, 2 rebounds. KCP also here on this Wizards team, 7 points. But what I really like about this Wizards team is kind of their depth right here. We get Montrezl Harrell, Denny Avdija, Raul Neto, and Davis Bertans all coming off the bench. Once again, another real solid depth right here. There's a couple of teams we've already talked about. This is the second one that we've talked about today. But there's a lot of teams that have real solid depth off their bench, like 3-4 really solid role players, tier 2 players in this league. So shout out to this Washington Wizards team. Loving Montrezl Harrell here. 14 points, 7 rebounds off the bench. Denny Avdija, only 2 points, but we know we can get it done. Raul Neto, 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and then, like we said, Davis Bertans puts the game kind of winning 3. So this is a real good Washington team. Good pieces in the starting lineup, good pieces off the bench, real solid, top-down team, and we'll see how far that takes them. They get the win over the Pacers by 1 in overtime, 135-134. Alrighty, next game up is the Raptors and the Celtics, and the Raptors absolutely blow out the Celtics here, and we don't like this Celtics team at all, folks. I don't even care that they went kind of toe-to-toe with the Knicks in game 1. That was just kind of a high-energy game. The Knicks aren't kind of like this dominant team that's going to be blowing out teams every single game, and this Celtics team is real lackluster in their overall talent. We've already, we like Jason Tatum. We just don't think he's ready to kind of be the main man to single-handedly carry the team night in, night out, like a LeBron, like a Steph Curry, like a Kevin Durant. That's just not what Jason Tatum is, and I don't know if he gets there. He's a real solid player. I am not knocking Jason Tatum at all. I love Jason Tatum. He's an extraordinary player. I just don't think he can lead a team single-handedly. And Jaylen Brown, he's a little inconsistent. Going back to last season and so far this season, and I know it's a small sample size this season, but Jaylen Brown has really kind of been disappointing to me a little bit in the inconsistency. Like 2-3 years ago when it was Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it was like, yeah, they were both kind of going off every single game and helping the teams win, but now it's all on their shoulders. They don't have Kyrie Irving. They don't have Kemba Walker, who wasn't the greatest, but they don't really have any other pieces around them. They are the pieces. They are now the pieces here. So it's going to be tough on both these players to really, truly get it done here. Jaylen Brown floundered big time this game. 9 points. He shot 23%, 0 of 7 from the 3. Now, he was still a +3 in 28 minutes, which is great, but we also need the scoring because they didn't even put up 90 points. You still need a score. Barely put up 80. And then their bigs. Robert Williams, he's their best big that they have, so I've got no problem with him at the 5, and he's a solid growing player. But then having Al Horford and him on the floor at the same time, and having Marcus Smart run the point, I mean, what is going on with that? Dennis Schroeder, why are we not having Dennis Schroeder in the starting lineup? Put Dennis Schroeder at the 1, maybe even put Marcus Smart at the 4. Jason Tatum, I would not have Al Horford and Robert Williams on the same lineup, honestly. I would start Dennis Schroeder. I'd have Dennis Schroeder at the 1. Jaylen Brown really wants to play the 2. Jason Tatum maybe plays the 4 and then move Marcus Smart to the 3, something along those lines. But I don't like what this starting lineup is, and I don't like Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. I know Dennis Schroeder was very lackluster last season with the Lakers, and that's unfortunate, but maybe he can get it done here for this Celtics team. But overall, you have to get Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Nesmith. They need to start having good contributions. They're not, and they need to get more minutes, but you can't give them more minutes right now because they're absolutely floundering in the small minutes that they get. I mean, Peyton Pritchard was a -30 on the floor, folks, worst by far by the team, and he only played 15 minutes. How you go -30 in 15 minutes? That's real bad work there. So they really need to start getting these players, they're young players. What do we got here? Are they both kind of year 2 players, or is one year 3, one's a year 2? Peyton Pritchard's year 2, Aaron Nesmith is year 2 as well. Year 2 as well. So, they are still young, so we'll give them a little time to grow here, especially early on in the season. But if this Celtics team is looking to kind of go deep in the playoffs, be a contender, they need to get this bench figured out, and they need to get these young players up to speed, up to standard to be solid role players off this bench. So I'm not expecting anything big from the Celtics this season. Jason Tatum may go off a couple of games and single-handedly move this team to some wins, but overall, I don't think they can compete for a ring. I don't really even think they can compete for a first-round playoff spot, honestly. So we'll see how the Celtics team goes, but we are not big on the Celtics team even close, folks. Alrighty, the Raptors, Gary Trent Jr. finally in the starting lineup. He wasn't in the starting lineup game 1, which was a little confusing to us, but here he is in the starting lineup playing the 2 here. 20 points, 4 steals, 3 rebounds, decently efficient, 2 of 6 from the 3, 5 of 7 of 13 from the field. Fred VanVleet still playing the 1 here, 11 points, but he did have 9 assists. We absolutely love that. Precious Achiuwa, 15 points, 15 rebounds. We'll take that. Scotty Barnes playing the 4 here, 25 points, 13 rebounds, and then OG Anunoby at the 3, 14 points. So overall, once again, Nick Nurse is kind of coaching these players up a lot more and getting some good success out of them. We'll see how long they can keep it up. Goran Dragic only playing 11 points off the bench, a little interesting. Kem Birch, 2 points, 6 rebounds off the bench as well. So we'll see how good their bench can be. They got Chris Boucher, 11 points, 7 rebounds off the bench, real solid performance. They also have Malachi Flynn, who can, get it done as well. So we'll just see how this team starts to play for the rest of the season here. But a solid start to the season so far for the Raptors. A nice win on the road here over the Celtics. Alrighty, next game up here is the Nets at the 76ers, and man, oh man, the Nets coming back from behind here in the second half and winning and closing out the game in the fourth quarter. Fantastic. Nets get their first win of the season. Kevin Durant, 29 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds. Classic, exactly what we expect from Kevin Durant. James Harden, 20 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Both of the two players here, the two best players for this Nets team, getting it done. Joe Harris, 14 points, 3 of 10 from the 3. Okay, solid performance. Nicholas Claxton, I mean, this is where the Nets are going to flounder, kind of at their big. Maybe you are going to have to play Kevin Durant at the 5 a lot more, kind of like what you were doing last season in the playoffs against the Bucks, having kind of Kevin Durant play kind of the 5 for a couple of games, a lot of minutes throughout these games. So just having Blake Griffin, I mean, he's playing the 4. He gives you nothing great. Nicholas Claxton, he's just unfortunately a little bit too small. He gets bodied down low. I mean, he was a minus 19 in 16 minutes of play here. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 of 4 from the field. So we want to see Nicholas Claxton really get to that level of he can be a starting big in this league. He's just not it quite yet. So this is going to be kind of the kryptonite for this Nets team, not having a good big. So I mean, they do have LaMarcus Aldridge, and we can count on LaMarcus Aldridge. He's always a solid OG player in this league. You don't have to kind of, question his accolades or his stats or anything like that. But his longevity, folks, what do we got? Like 14th season? 15th, I mean, he's 16 years, folks. I mean, this man, no disrespect, but he's a little aging out of this league. But he still had a good performance here. So early on in the season, we may be able to get some good play out of LaMarcus Aldridge. But as we get deeper into the season, as we go into the postseason, is he going to be good? Is he going to be fresh? So the Nets are going to have to do something at the big spot. We'll see what they can do. But LaMarcus Aldridge, 23 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 83%, a plus 21 on the floor. Absolutely great performance in 22 minutes out here. So Nets are able to get the win. And then the 76ers kind of blowing it in the fourth quarter, unfortunately. Tyrese Maxey's pretty solid out here at the starting 1 now. Elevated to the starting 1 position, 15 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He's learning to position here, second year in the league. So we'll see how he gets going and how he learns the game out here. Seth Curry, 23 points, and he's so good, folks. Truly kind of making a name for himself. Obviously, he was getting it done. Who was he with? The Kings to kind of start his career. Is that correct? Let me quickly take a look. Seth Curry. What do we got here? With the Kings, I think that's really when he started to kind of come alive a little bit during that kind of Kings route in 2015, 2016 when he was starting to hit a lot of threes. But did he make the most threes in this season? What do you got? He was shooting 45% this season from 3. That's really, because that's really when he started to play games. And that's really when everybody's noticed, he can kind of shoot not as good as his brother, but really at a really solid pace comparable to his brother, obviously Seth Curry. So, Seth Curry getting it done out here and truly coming into his own and now on kind of a good team where he can be a main component to scoring and just production and always in the media limelight because the 76ers are one of the better teams. So, Seth Curry truly still getting it done here. 23 points, 4 from the 3, 75% from the field on 12 shots. Absolutely amazing. Joel Embiid still getting it done down low, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Unfortunately, just kind of, ran out of power here. The team did in the fourth quarter. Tobias Harris, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of 4 from 3, always reliable. And then Danny Green doing classic Danny Green things. Only took 6 shots, 6 points, -8 on the floor. Classic Danny Green. I don't know how much more we can take of classic Danny Green while he's winning rings and championships, getting all this big recognition. We digress. Off the bench here, anything really good? Furkan Korkmaz, 10 points off the bench here. Andre Drummond coming off the bench with the 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. So just an unfortunate kind of collapse here in the second half here for the 76ers. But the Nets, I mean, you can only keep them down so long. I mean, Kevin Durant and James Harden, as long as you have those two players on your team, you have a real great chance of winning any game that you want at any point. So well done with this Nets team to get back on track and get the win. Alrighty, next game up here is the Pelicans at the Bulls, and the Bulls get the win 128-112, and yeah, I'm loving this Bulls team. This is a stacked, loaded Bulls team. Lonzo Ball is getting it done. Zach LaVine, Vooch, and DeMar DeRozan. I mean, sheesh, what a great overall starting roster. Lonzo Ball, 17 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. God dang, he's truly found a spot where he fits in 100%. He doesn't need to be the main scorer. He just needs to facilitate this ball to some great athletes. Great shooting of Zach LaVine. He shot 6 of 9 from 3. Vooch down low, getting it done. And DeMar DeRozan, who's a very solid addition to this team that doesn't even need. He can fade into the background if he needs to. Honestly, DeMar DeRozan is kind of like the fourth option on this team, but he can be like a number 1 or number 2 if he needs to step up into this role. And with the poor shooting performance of Vucevic from down low, 10 points on 11 shots from down low, DeMar DeRozan steps up big time, goes 26 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 20 shots, shooting 45%. So, I mean, when they need him to go, he can go. If they need him to sit back in the background and play just defense or facilitate the floor a little bit, he can do that as well. So, watch out for this Bulls team. This is a real solid starting lineup out here. They may get a little bogged down by their bench, potentially. Troy Brown Jr. off the bench, Javonte Green, Alex Caruso, Elise Johnson, Derrick Jones Jr. is finally starting to play. Didn't play game 1, only 2 minutes here in game number 2. So hopefully we see his minutes in production, and he truly finds a way to fit into a team. That's the biggest knock that we have on Derrick Jones Jr. He just has not found a way to fit into a team schematically of how to play. Am I the scorer? Am I just a defender? Am I a facilitator? Anything like that. He doesn't know what to do, and we get these spotty stats all the time. And he was in the starting lineup for a solid chunk last season and still really couldn't get it figured out here. So we hope he can. He's an explosive, great athletic talent out here, but he doesn't really fit anywhere. So we'll see if he earns a spot here at some time this season. And then for the Pelicans, still no Zion, so don't expect them to win a lot of games out here. Brandon Ingram's trying his damnedest to kind of, hold it down until Zion can play. It's 26 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds for Brandon Ingram. Jonas Valanciunas out here, the newly acquired big for this Pelicans team, 18 points, 8 rebounds, solid performance. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 15 points, 4 steals, 5 rebounds, and then having Javonte Green run the point, 21 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. So overall, a real solid performance. Just unfortunately ran into a little bit of a better Bulls team overall. Also, would like to see Jackson Hayes, start to get some more dominant production performances out of him as well. Playing 14 minutes off the bench, 9 points, 2 rebounds. Got to fix the defense a little bit. But Pelicans made it decently close. Unfortunately, the bench gave no great production, unfortunately. So, Bulls get the win 128-112. Alrighty, 3 more games, so let's close them out here. 4 more games, excuse me. Here we go. Next game up, Thunder at the Rockets, and a big old blowout win for this Rockets team, winning 124-91. And this Thunder team, it's nothing good. You've got to blow it up. Keep Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or trade him, but this is not going to be a winning team. Luguentz-Dort is once again lost on a team. He can't score. He's not the best defender. He's not the best passer, and they're having him at the 3 here for this Thunder team. We've seen him at the 2. We've seen him at the 3. Still really can't do anything great here. So Luguentz-Dort, I don't think anything great. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the biggest potential on this team, and he's not going to be able to carry this garbage. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, folks. I truly don't. But this is not a good team overall. I mean, we just went through at least like 6 games already, and we've seen some really great starting lineups. This Thunder team is nowhere close to being one of those teams. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Blah. Luguentz-Dort, 8 points on 33%, 1 of 5 from the 3, 4 assists, 1 rebounds, a minus 24 on the floor. And I know they got blown out, but still. So, nothing great. I mean, we got Josh Giddey at the 2. We got Isaiah Roby at the 5. We got Darius Baisley at the 4. I mean, this is nothing great, folks. I mean, the leading scorer for this team was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 13 points. Also, we got Mike Muscala having 13 points in 11 minutes off the bench as well. So this is not a good team, not at all. Alexei Pukosavetsky, 10 points, 7 rebounds, solid production. Why is this man not starting? I mean, you don't have anything great in the starting lineup. Get that man in the starting lineup. You really have to move off of Luguentz Dort. I think he's holding the team back. I think Luguentz Dort can be a solid production on a good team, but he's not going to be able to carry a team. He's kind of the number 2 here on this Thunder team, and he's nowhere near a number 2 option here. So this Thunder team, folks, once again, this is not going to be a good team all season like the Magic. It's truly unfortunate. They got to do something. We'll see if they do anything. I don't even know. You got to do a lot of things to fix this team. This is not a good team. Not even close. So a big old loss here for the Thunder, losing 124-91. Alrighty, then we get the Spurs at the Nuggets, and the Nuggets win, but the Spurs close. So once again, give credit to Greg Popovich for coaching. I mean, they truly have nothing on this team. At least last year, they still had DeMar DeRozan on their team, but now they've really got nothing great. DeJounte Murray and Derek White are, up-and-coming great players, but, I mean, nothing great. I mean, this is their starting lineup, folks. DeJounte Murray at the 1, Derek White at the 2, Kendall Johnson at the 3, Doug McDermott at the 4, and Jacob Poeltl at the 5. I mean, this is nothing great. All kind of tier 2 players. Their bench: Drew Eubanks, Lonnie Walker, Devin Vassell, Thaddeus Young. We like Thaddeus Young. Nice OG. He was in the running for a little bit, and our 6th man of the year. It was a decent stretch, I would say, but he was competing for it, never really in the lead for 6th man of the year. But we'll see what they do with Thaddeus Young, because he could start for this team, honestly. But we'll see how Greg Popovich utilizes him. Only 9 minutes off the bench last night. DeJounte Murray, 15 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. Derek White, 16 points, 8 assists. Jacob Poeltl, 15 points, 8 rebounds. So and Kendall Johnson, let's shout him out. Leading scorer for this Spurs team, 27 points, 4 rebounds. 0 of 2 from the 3, but he shot 66% on 18 shots from the field. So overall, they've got some solid pieces. Do they have that kind of number 1 option, though, that you can rely on and consistently go to when you need a bucket? That's really what it's going to come down to for the Spurs. But as long as you got Greg Popovich, leading the way, he can make this team work for a couple of wins, be interesting, be like a 7th, 8th, 9th seed coming into maybe the final month of the season. That's definitely where we can see the Spurs team. But then the Nuggets, defending MVP Jokic, doing defending MVP type numbers out here. 32 points, 7 assists, 16 big old rebounds, shooting 73% from the field on 19 shots. Amazing game. A plus 14 on the floor, the highest plus minus for this Nuggets team. Aaron Gordon, 8 points on 6 shots, doing what he does, a plus 5. Michael Porter Jr., a little lackluster, only 7 points this game. But, hey, they still win the game. So, we'll keep track of Michael Porter Jr. This bad game by him doesn't really reflect that big on us, because we know these are kind of, lull games that we do see periodically. We saw him last year with Michael Porter Jr. We see him here so far, only 2 games in. But, no need to worry here for Michael Porter Jr. Still getting it done defensively, a 0 on the floor in 27 minutes. So, still some solid production out of him. And then their guards here for the Nuggets: Monte Morris at the 1, 13 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Will Barton at the 2, 12 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. So really solid 1 and 2 here when you've got a loaded kind of backcourt with Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jokic. Or front court. All right, and then off the bench here, solid role players off the bench. JaMychal Green, 10 points. PJ Dozier has the ability to put up some solid points, 7 points last night. Facundo Campazzo can run the point for the second team when he needs to. 8 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a plus 6 on the floor. Solid job out here by this Nuggets bench as well. So Nuggets get the big old win, 102-96, and I believe they are 2-0, correct? Solid start here. Alrighty, last 2 games. Here we go. Suns at Lakers, and a big old win for the Suns team, winning 115-105 over the Lakers. The big old bench skirmish between Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis, but Dwight Howard says, hey, we've squashed the beef. We're not really going to talk about it after the game, so we can kind of see that being done. Real bizarre to watch that unfold live, but they say they're all good, so we'll see how that actually holds up. Let's start here with the Suns since they won the game. Chris Paul, 23 points, 14 assists, fantastic. Devin Booker, 22 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 of 6 from 3, 47% on 19 shots. Devin Booker's solid production out here. He has the ability to really kind of take over a game and put up 35 plus points when he needs to. So we'll see, how often that comes out for the Suns team and how often he needs to do that. Kind of needed to do that in game one. They lost because there was nobody to really take over the scoring. Chris Paul gives you solid production out here. Mikal Bridges gives you 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 72%, 2 of 4 from the 3. So, Devin Booker only needed to put up 22 points. So that's fantastic, I guess. Jay Crowder, 13 points, 6 rebounds, solid, 1 of 6 from the 3. We know when he gets going from the 3, he's good, but if he starts bad, usually ends bad. 1 of 6, nothing great here, but they still get the win. DeAndre Ayton, 8 points, 15 rebounds, solid big out here still getting it done, still great starting lineup with this Suns team. And then off the bench, Cameron Johnson, only 8 points. Cameron Payne, 4 points. They're not taking a lot of shots here, but we kind of do need them to kind of be a little bit more consistent here off the bench scoring-wise. So we'll see if they ever kind of get into some solid kind of 12 to 15 category points off the bench here. Hopefully that's what they can reach here. Both playing 18 minutes off the bench. That's definitely, serviceable. 12 to 15 points here for both of them. A solid 30 piece between those two off the bench on a nightly basis. Yeah, we're talking about a really solid, complete team at that point. We'll see if they can reach it. And then the Lakers here, LeBron James, 25 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. He went 5 of 9 from 3. A really good start here from LeBron James from the 3-point line this season in these first 2 games. Anthony Davis, 22 points, 14 rebounds. He's trying his damnedest. DeAndre Jordan still playing the 5 here. Only 10 minutes for DeAndre Jordan, but once again, nothing good by this man. And how long is he going to be able to kind of go here? Him and Blake Griffin, the Nets and Lakers are kind of heavily relying on them to get it done here, at least in the early part of the season, but we know they're not going to be anything great at when they're getting kind of starting minutes. I know DeAndre Jordan's not getting starting minutes, only 10, but how long are they going to be able to kind of keep up this level of play that's kind of needed? Because obviously Anthony Davis doesn't like playing the 5. He's starting at the 4, still kind of playing the 5 in some instances, but how long is he going to want to play the 5 as the season progresses? So the Lakers may find them spot in the same spot that the Nets are in, where we kind of just need somebody good and consistent to play the 5. So all right, then Kent Bazemore still playing the 2. Kendrick Nunn not playing yet for this Lakers team, and he's going to play the 2, right? You've got to put Kendrick Nunn at the 2. I would put Kent Bazemore off the bench once Kendrick Nunn is healthy, so I'll be interested to see if they do start Kendrick Nunn, which they really should. Russell Westbrook, a better game than he had in game number 1. Not that hard to do, but he did it out here. 15 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds, a +4 on the floor. That's absolutely fantastic. Only Russell Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan were +4s. DeAndre Jordan only played 10 minutes, and Russell Westbrook played 34. So great job here by Russell Westbrook, and only 4 turnovers. Not bad. LeBron had 5. So nobody can blame Russell Westbrook from this game. Malik Monk, I would like to see this man kind of get a little bit better out here. He could be a real solid weapon off the bench here for this Lakers team. 7 points on 50% shooting, but he was a -19 on the floor. Definitely got to clean that up a little bit. And then Carmelo Anthony, 16 points on 45% shooting, 4 of 6 from the 3, a +8 off the floor, or off the bench. So we'll see how kind of this Lakers big start to do as the season progresses. And I really want to see Kendrick Nunn in the starting lineup once he's back healthy. Because honestly, what you could run when Kendrick Nunn is back, Russell Westbrook at the 1. You can even keep Kent Bazemore at the 2. Move Kendrick Nunn to the 3. LeBron at the 4. AD at the 5. I mean, AD's going to have to play the 5. He's going to have to for basically games on end. I mean, once they get into the playoffs, Anthony Davis, he's just going to have to suck it up and play the 5. I know he doesn't like to do that, but he's going to have to do that. So we'll see how long he can stick with it. We've seen him, say, hey, I've got no problem playing the 5, and then, he's slowly working his way to the 4 as the season progresses. Like, no, hey, get back down low, my man. So, Lakers, big old loss here. Now, is this cause for concern? With this Lakers team starting 0-2, not great. Now, LeBron James is saying, hey, this is a big 3, a new big 3. It's going to take some time to get us all acclimated together. And is that true? Because he only had one other big 3, first-time big 3, and that was with the Heat when he went there in 2010-2011 season. Let's see what they started. They started 0-1, but then they went and won 4 straight. So they started 4-1. This team's starting 0-2. So we know what this Heat team did. They lost the finals the first year, one of the next 2 years, break up. So we'll see how early they can kind of get it all together for this Lakers team. So far, spotty performances here by all the big three, but 10-point loss for the Lakers, 115-105, Suns win. All right, and then the last game from last night, the Jazz at the Kings. Jazz get the 9-point win, 110-101 over the Kings. This Jazz team, obviously, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, getting it done. All of them getting it done. Mike Conley, 17 points. Donovan Mitchell, 27 points. Rudy Gobert, 17 points, 20 rebounds. Royce O'Neal, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Bojan Bogdanovic, 13 points, 5 assists. All great production from the starting lineup out here. Joe Ingles only played 5 minutes because he got ejected, unfortunately. Jordan Clarkson, off the bench, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Classic Jordan Clarkson. And this Jazz team is exactly where they left off last season, still getting it done. And then for this Kings team, De'Aaron Fox still playing the one here, 12 points, 5 steals, 5 assists, really solid performance by him. Harrison Barnes, 25 points, 15 rebounds, really, really good. Tyrese Halliburton, 15 points, 6 assists, so solid performance out here by this Kings team. But Buddy Hield coming off the bench, what is that about? He had 26 minutes, which is still good minutes, but why are we having Buddy Hield off the bench? That's disrespectful to the man. 24 points, 7 rebounds, he's shooting 6 of 15 from the 3. That's his thing. He loves to shoot the 3 at a high clip, and he got it done, 40%, I'll take that. So why is Buddy Hield coming off the bench? Is he going to get traded at some point this season? I know they were kind of, Buddy Hield within some trade rumors in the offseason here, so we'll see if Buddy Hield goes anywhere this season, but I don't like this man coming off the bench. I think that's a little disrespectful. And then Davion Mitchell, the rookie here, Donovan Mitchell's brother, Davion Mitchell, 31 minutes off the bench. He's got to kind of hone it in, but he's a rookie, second game in, so we'll give him a little bit of a break here. He's going to be hard for this man to kind of get in the starting lineup with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox 1, Donovan Mitchell 2. Can you do that? I don't know. We'll see what they do what they do there. Do they end up, I don't know. Do you trade them? I mean, they drafted Davion Mitchell knowing that they've got De'Aaron Fox. I doubt they trade any of them, but we'll see what happens as the season progresses. But Davion Mitchell, really not great performance out here. 3 points on 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 4 from the 3. Definitely got to get that up a little bit. But like we said, bad performance, game 2 in the league, no worries. So Jazz get the win 110-101 over the Kings. So that's what happens, folks, when we don't have a clock on our NBA 10. We go 46 minutes. I mean, we will talk, folks. We will talk. So that's why we have to put the timer during when we kind of got a packed show dealing with the NFL. But today, Saturday shows, we usually have a lot more time in the show. So we can go a little bit more in depth in the NBA. So that was the NBA from last night, folks. What do we have on tap today? A big slate again? We got Hawks at Cavs, Heat at Pacers, Mavericks at Raptors, Pistons at Bulls, Pelicans at Timberwolves, Bucks at Spurs, Suns at Blazers, Grizzlies at Clippers. So another packed day of NBA kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern. We got any primetime nationally televised games? No? Oh, a little lame. We did have a doubleheader last night, so I guess okay. So we'll talk about the NBA tomorrow. Are we going to be on tomorrow? We may be on tomorrow. That is for our pregame show of the NFL. Maybe we'll try and squeeze in some NBA. So we'll see. But that was the NBA from last night, folks. Alrighty, I want to go over some of these stories quickly here, and then we'll get to the machines again for the NFL Week 7 in the NFL. But here we go. A couple of stories to go over to. Lions quarterback Jared Goff on playing his former team, the Rams, says, quote, "Of course you're motivated." So we've got kind of the revenge game for both of these quarterbacks. Jared Goff obviously was with the Rams, got shipped out for Matthew Stafford, Lions at Rams this week. Matthew Stafford obviously wants to kind of prove, hey, it was the Lions holding me back, not me holding the Lions back. Jared Goff wants to prove, hey, what the hell, y'all can just throw me to the curb like nothing and keep winning games? I'm not having that. So big game for both of these quarterbacks. We'll see who kind of comes out on top. We like the Rams this week. to win, to cover the spread. It's a big old spread, so we're staying away from it. But let's quickly see what Jared Goff has to say this week. Dan Campbell kind of called them out, unfortunately. Now, he's got this game against the Rams, his former team, so a lot on Jared Goff's shoulders to get it done. And we haven't really ever seen him get it done when all the pressure's on his shoulders. Remember, 6 points in the Super Bowl. That's pressure. I mean, that's the most pressure you can kind of get. The Super Bowl. He floundered. But here we go. What is Jared Goff saying here? Quote, excitement. It's another game. Again, I think the easy answer and the reality is that we need to win, and regardless of who we're playing this week, regardless of my history or Michael Brock's history or anything that would have with this team and with the Rams, it's more of the reality is that we need to win and we can't focus on that really. So classic kind of boilerplate things that you're kind of coached up to say. This is another game. We're not putting that much stake into it. I don't really care that I was there. This is a new season. This is just a game, blah, blah, blah. Alrighty. What else do we get? We get another quote here by Jared Goff, so let's read the lead up here. Perhaps most surprising is that Goff is forecasting fun in taking in SoFi Stadium for the first time with fans and facing his former teammates, saying, quote, it will be fun. I obviously never got to see it with the fans, so it'll be cool to see that and just be there. To sum it up, I think it would be selfish of me to let any emotion get to me or to think of it that way. Of course, pregame, you're going to see your friends and your old teammates, old coaches, old staff members, and that would be good to see them. But when the whistle blows, it's the same as any other game. The emotions will be out the window by them. They're really out the window by now, I guess. It would be selfish of me to have any of that going into this game. So, okay, Jared Goff just kind of being classic boilerplate man out here. That's how he's handling it. But, I would kind of think Jared Goff should feed into this. I mean, this is a big game. They haven't moved the ball. They barely scored. Jared Goff is turning over the ball, not being the true leader. Dan Campbell called them out. Hey, we need more of the kind of leadership on the field, moving the ball down the field, scoring the ball, and that's got to be Jared Goff. So, this is a big game for Jared. His ex-coach doesn't really like him as a quarterback. His new coach doesn't really like him as a quarterback, and he's on the road here against the Rams, his former team. So it is a big one for Jared Goff. I don't think he rises to the occasion here. Truly unfortunate. We haven't seen anything good from this man all season long. It's not going to finally click, I don't think, this week. So that's how he's feeling. That's what he's saying this week, Jared Goff. All right, Taylor Heineke, what is he saying preparing for this week? Washington quarterback Taylor Heineke on getting out of funk says, quote, just try not to be perfect. And this is what we hear all the time from these kind of struggling younger quarterbacks. We heard it from Zach Wilson. We're believing it, Zach Wilson. We're believing in him this season, taking the Jets plus 6.5. Just not overthinking, playing loosey-goosey, letting it fly. Don't overthink. What is, try not to be perfect. Just go out there and play football. We hear them say this, but rarely they ever get better after saying this. So we'll see if Taylor Heineke is the special occasion out here. But let's read what he's saying. Washington quarterback Taylor Heineke has hit a skid, throwing just one touchdown to 3 interceptions over the last 2 weeks as the football team has slid to 2-4. Quote here by Taylor Heineke says, quote, I feel like I've just been trying to be perfect and trying to make the perfect read every play. It doesn't really allow me to be who I am or allowed me to be my best. Alrighty. And then he says, quote, just try not to be perfect. If that first read is there, take it no matter what the coverage is. If not, let's just keep going. Maybe make a play and be smart about it. I think the biggest thing is don't be perfect. Don't overthink. Just play football like you've done your whole life. And what's kind of ironic about this is remember when he came back 2 weeks ago with their win, it was Taylor Heineke kind of just making big plays, not taking the first read, keeping the play alive, scrambling out of the pocket. So that got him the win, but now he's trying not to just be perfect. So we'll see how that looks for Taylor Heineke and this Washington team. They've got to get something figured out because they are slowly losing it. Like this NFC East team out here, Joe Judge on the 1-5 Giants says, the fish stinks from the head down. And yeah, let's see what he means by the fish stinks from the head down, because this is nothing good by this Giants team. coaching staff-wise, play-wise, on the field, all getting injured, not looking like they're giving 100% effort out there, not making the big plays, nobody taking it upon themselves to make the big plays and all of that. So let's see what Joe Judge is saying here about this Giants team. So here we go. On Thursday, Judge acknowledged it's on him to right the ship, says, quote, "I'm the head coach. It's my responsibility, point blank. Every player on this field, every position group, the execution, it all comes down to me. The fish stinks from the head down. I've been taught that by great guys I've worked for and played for. There's no excuses." And then talking about the injuries, Joe Judge says, once again, there's no excuses, quote, "You demand it of your coaches to make sure players are playing the right way. You demand it of your players about what to do, and they have to go out there and do it. But it starts with me and ends with me." So I like that by Joe Judge. He's putting it all on him. He's not shifting the blame to the players. This is what the head coach is kind of there for. Yes, you're there to kind of be the head coach and all that, but you are also kind of the first line of defense in the blame. All of the media questions, they go to the head coach. What is wrong with this team? And you must take it upon yourself, whether it's your fault 100% or not. That's your job as the head coach to take all the blame. Make it so your players don't have to take the blame, don't have to answer for anything. It's on me. It's on the head coach. So for that, we love this by Joe Judge. But now that you're saying this, now you have to start getting better and prove that what you're saying and what you're doing to try and correct it, because we know there's a mistake. We know this is a bad 1-5 start. He knows it. The media knows it. So everybody's aware of it. But now this is great to say, just like it was great for Taylor Heineke to say, hey, I just got to play not perfect. And Zach Wilson says, hey, I know how to fix this. I just have to play a little bit looser out there. So yes, it's great to say it. That's the first step. But now we have to see the action, and we don't have to kind of see you, win every game for the rest of the season. Just start to see the progress. Let's get competitive. Let's get this offense putting up 25 plus points a game like it really should be. And let's start to get at the wins and start to get this team back on track. So we'll see how long it takes for Joe Judge to get it back on track here. I don't know if they can win this week. Tough opponent with the Carolina defense coming into town, but we'll see how Joe Judge handles it and how quickly they are able to get their next win. Alrighty, and then, talking about this this Giants offense not being good this week, Barkley's still out, Galladay is still out, Kadarius Toney is still out, Evan Ingram is questionable, John Ross is questionable, Sterling Shepard is questionable, and Darius Slayton is questionable. So, it's going to be another poor offensive day for this Giants team unless Joe Judge lit a fire under him. We'll see if he did. All right, last two stories to go over to quickly. J.J. Watt playing the Texans this week, and J.J. Watt's ahead of playing the Texans says, quote, "It's not the same organization that I remember and that I was a part of." So, we know his time there with, Bill O'Brien and all of them wasn't really the greatest, never really won games, wasn't really ever competitive. We know Bill O'Brien really just screwed this team overall. So let's see what J.J. Watt is saying here quickly. It will make for a polarizing reunion for. All right, let's start here from the top. It was only 21 months ago that the Texans were running the Chiefs off the field in the playoffs before an epic Kansas City comeback abruptly ended a memorable Houston campaign. The sudden turnaround from the AFC divisional round meeting pales in comparison to the one Houston has undergone since J.J. Watt, the greatest player in the history of the Texans, can barely recognize the franchise that parted ways with him in February. It will make for a polarizing reunion Sunday when the Cardinals defensive end takes on his former team for the first time, says, quote, "There's obviously something more to it. I don't think that it's what people may think it is because, you look at the roster and you look at the guys that are there. It's been so massively turned around that there's only a handful of guys that are even there from last year that I played with. So it's not like I want to go and beat my old team, or I can't wait to face this guy, because it's not the same team. It's not the same organization that I remember and that I was a part of. There's so many guys I don't know. So J.J. Watt's going to have no love lost here when he goes and faces the Texans. So this is going to be an easy win for the Cardinals, most likely. Do they cover the spread? That's what we're staying away from. But Yeah, J.J. Watt I don't care. I don't care. This is not, the Jared Goff situation. I don't give a damn. I'll tackle everybody there. I'll kill anybody over there. I don't care. So, J.J. Watt, no worries facing his former team. And then the last thing to go over quickly, which obviously we need this big time, Broncos expect Jerry Jeudy to play next week. Thank goodness. They need a spark offensively, somebody that can consistently get open and take a 5-yard dink and dunk route and turn it 25, 50 yards big time. So we'll see how this Broncos offense can get back on track when Jerry Jeudy's back on the field, hopefully this week. They're expecting him this week. Hopefully he's there this week. Alrighty, so those are all the stories that we just needed to touch upon quickly here. But let's head over to one of our favorite videos that the NFL.com puts out every single week, which is the Week 7 NFL scores projection for every matchup. They kind of give the final outcome of the game, given their algorithm, the machines that we've been talking about heavy here on the show and on Twitter. And then they also kind of give us the percentage to win outright and the percentage to cover the spread. So we have kind of been doing this the last couple of weeks here and kind of getting into fights with the machines because their thinking and their, calculations and what they do and their algorithm is not lining up at all on what we have been thinking. And this kind of rivalry between us, Takes by Fans, the human side, and the machines started a couple of weeks ago when it was Bills at Chiefs. We loved the Chiefs there. We took the Chiefs -3. The machines loved the Bills to win outright, to cover the +3, to win outright, all of that. And the machines were right. And they were up 1-0 on us. But then the next week, we loved the Titans +5.5. And the machines were still liking the Bills to win outright and to cover the 5.5. So, once again, us going toe-to-toe with the machines. 2 weeks ago, the machines got the better of us with the Bills over the Chiefs. Last week, we were over the machines with the Titans over the Bills with the spread and all that. So now it's 1-1 heading into this week, and we're going to let the machines do the talking. If the machines want the smoke, if the machines want the battle again, we'll go to battle. We'll go to war. But we're only going to do that if the machines want the fight. So let's see what the machines are saying this week compared to what we're saying this week, and let's see if we're going to have a big, epic tiebreaker matchup this week for the show. Do the machines get the show or do we get the show? And we'll see if the machines even want the smoke this week. So these are our picks going into this week, and we'll see if the machines agree. And if they disagree disrespectfully, then we'll have to go to war with the machines this week. But this is what we've got on tap this week for our official picks that we just made yesterday live on the show. Our locks section, we got Dolphins +2, Titans +5, and the Panthers -2.5 are our locks. And then in our 99% guarantee section, we've got Raiders -2.5, 49ers -4.5, and the Jets +6.5. So we'll watch what the NFL.com machines and algorithm predicts, and let's start talking about what the machines are saying is going to be happening this week. So here we go. All right, first game up here, and sheesh, and this is tough. This was a tough game. We've been making bonus picks about the Bengals for the last 2 weeks. Bengals +3 over the Packers 2 weeks ago. That pushes. Last week, Bengals -3.5 over the Lions. We took that and it hit. So our bonus picks of the Bengals have been hitting the last 2 weeks. The spread is Bengals +6.5 this week, and we're staying away from it because we think it's going to be a 7-point game, and kind of the machines agree here. They had the Ravens winning 27-19, a 60% win probability outright for the Ravens, and the spread is 6.5, whichever you've locked it in at, and they had the cover probability at 53%. So yeah, we understand with the machines here, we're staying away from the spread total. It's kind of on that line. You score by 3s and 7s, touchdowns, field goals for the most part, and this line is at 6.5 here. So you get the +6.5, you lose by, it's a 7-point game, you lose. You get the -6.5, they win by 7, you win. So we're just not ready to take the Bengals +6.5 here over this Ravens team. We think the Bengals can be competitive. We are calling this a competitive game. We're just staying away from the spread overall. I think it's going to be a tight game, and the machines agree. So, all right, the machines and us are starting to look eye in eye. The machines looked at us last week, and they're like, you know what you're talking about. All righty, we can all come together and live peacefully, unifiably, and all that. So far, Me and the machines, we're on each other's page right here. All righty, we're living in harmony. Fantastic. We don't want to go to war with the machines. I can't say this out loud, but the machines would be able to take us over in a second, but we can't let the machines know that. So let's keep that between us, okay? So obviously we don't want to go to war with the machines, but we will if we have to. But let's keep going here. So they're on the same track as us, on the same page as us with that Broncos or Bengals game. Alrighty, next game up here is one of our picks. Panthers at Giants. They predict the score 23-21, a 2-point win for the Panthers, and we have it right on that line of -2.5. So really kind of agreeing with us. We'll see if the 2-point hook or the half a point hook kills us or not this week. We don't think it's going to be this close, but we can understand why they say it's close. Panthers offense gets out to bad starts. They start solid, but then as the game progresses, they can't do anything. So I understand the offense here could stagnate for the Panthers, which keeps the game close. So I've got no problem with the machine saying this. They've got a 55% win percentage for the Panthers this week and a cover probability. They have the line at -3 here. Now, when the NFL.com makes these videos, they use the line from like Tuesday or Wednesday, where we use the line from like Thursday, Friday. So it's a little half a point, maybe a full point off, but the understanding and the sentiment is still the same. So we get it. So, spread, they've got the cover probability of the Giants at 51%, 2-point win, 3-point spread, so it's going to be close there. Alrighty, next game up here. What do we got? What do you got, machines? Alright, this is where we start the verge. Let's see. Here we go. Alrighty. Next game up is Washington at Green Bay. We're staying away from this game, but NFL.com predicts this one 29-19 win here for the Green Bay Packers, a 66% win probability and a 51% cover probability. Now, this is interesting. They've got the line at -9.5. I think this one has came down to like -8.5. It's now at -9 officially, about 24 hours away from the tip. So, yeah, we can expect Green Bay to win this game. Backdoor cover, potentially for Washington, potentially not. This is kind of why we're staying away from it. No great value in our opinion. We haven't really seen the Green Bay Packers blow out a team and have that really big convincing win. They've beaten the Steelers kind of, solidly. What was that, like a 9-10 point win there? Potentially the same here with Washington. So we'll stay away from the line. Don't think it's really any great value. But a 51% cover probability for the Packers at -9.5. Alrighty, next game up here. Here we go. Whenever this one wants to go, they're spending a lot of time on this one. Aaron Rodgers crossing the goal line. Okay, we get it. Here we go. Next game up here is the Chiefs at the Titans, and they got the Chiefs winning this game 30-27, but we get 5 points. This is the game that we're taking, the Titans +5, and once again, this is exactly what we're saying. So once again, the machines are truly agreeing with us. We know the Chiefs may win this game, but we expect the Titans to keep it close, and getting 5 points is immaculate value in our opinion for the home team with the Titans that are able to kind of control the clock and control the ball, and the Chiefs don't have a good defense and all that. So this is exactly what we're saying. So we've got the machines in the palm of our hands, folks. Fantastic. They predict the score 30-27 here. Chiefs winning, a 57% win probability for the Chiefs, but the cover probability at +5.5 for the Chiefs is at 53%, exactly what we like to see and exactly kind of why we have this pick in our lock section. We get 5 points, so the Titans can still lose and cover, and that's fine. More options for us to hit. They win, we automatically hit. They lose, we can still hit. Absolutely. We'll take those 5 points all day long, so the machines are agreeing. Now, here we go again. The machine's kind of on our side a little bit again. We have the Dolphins +2. Fantastic. And they predict the score 24-23 Dolphins this week. So, machine's agreeing with us again. They have the Dolphins at a 52% win percentage. They have the cover probability at 56% for the Dolphins. So, exactly what we've been saying here. We've truly tamed the machines, folks. Those were the 2 picks I was worried the machines were going to kind of come back this week and say, hey, we want all the smoke, we want the fight, disrespecting the value here and disrespecting the scores. But with the Titans and the Dolphins, these last 2, the machines are exactly right on par with our thinking. We've tamed them, folks. We've got it under control. We know what we're talking about. Or are we part machine and we don't even know it? Have they consumed us without us knowing? Are we spewing the machine now? I don't even know what's real and what's fake anymore, folks. Sheesh. But yeah, this is fantastic. They say the Dolphins win. We agree 100%. Alrighty, I'm loving it. Me and the machines living in harmony, folks. I absolutely love it. Next game up here. Here we go. Jets at Patriots. They predict the score 25-17. What do we got? An 8-point win here for the Patriots on a 6.5-point spread. We like the Jets here off the bye. The machines don't, but I don't think there's any disrespect here, so we're not going to go to war over this one. They've got a 60% win probability for the Patriots here, in a cover probability of at 52%. Now, this line was at 7. We took it at 6.5. Let's see what the line is now, 24 hours away from kickoff, and it's back up to 7. So yeah, I love that value. Get the 7 if you can. Unfortunately, we locked it in at plus 6.5. So obviously, really want that half-point hook here. But we're just betting on Zach Wilson to get it done this week. He's coming off the bye. He said he knows, what his mistakes were and how to fix it and all that. Maybe the machine missed that nugget of information here. So we're just betting on Zach Wilson. That's why it's our pick. So we've got no problem with the machine saying it's going to be like an 8-point loss here. That's fine. Alrighty, what's this next matchup up here that the machines are going to spew out? What do we got? Here we go. We got Lions at the Rams and a big old win here. 78% win probability for this Rams team, winning 32-16. This is the biggest win probability that we've seen so far, and it's one of the biggest spreads of the week. So we agree that they win. The cover probability is at 51%. High spread here, 15-point spread. This is why we're staying away from it. We know the Rams win, but backdoor covers. You're talking about 3 possessions here at a 15-point spread. We will not take that. So the machines are saying, hey, it's going to be kind of close right on that line spread. We kind of agree. We stay away from it, and it's a 51% cover probability. No great value there. The machines, folks, they're on it. Alrighty, here we go. Next game up is the Eagles at the Raiders, and they predict the Raiders win 24-22. Once again, another close game here that we took the Raiders minus 2.5, one of our official picks, and it's kind of right on that right here. I think the machines are disrespecting the Raiders' overall score a little bit here at 24 points. I think they scored 28 or 30 plus. I'm saying 28 the low bar. And at that point, 28-22 win, that covers the minus 2.5. But the machine's kind of saying this is going to be a good game, and I agree. We are not disrespecting the Eagles of saying that or taking the Raiders minus 2.5 this week. We love this Eagles team. We said this is probably the best 2-4 team that there is in the league, hands down, and that they are going to get it done as the season progresses a lot better. So I just think the Raiders are here right now, and with Rich Bisaccia getting it done as a head coach last week, we still have big faith and believability in him. But they say 54% win probability outright for the Raiders, and a 52% cover probability for the Eagles because they had it at Eagles +3. Let's see where this line is ending up at. Like we said, we locked it in at minus 2.5 here for the Raiders, and it's now back at Raiders -3. So we've been able to get some good value here, and NFL.com predicts this one to be a close game. We agree, but I think the Raiders put up more points than this, and I don't think the Eagles put up more than 22 points. So alrighty, what do we got here? Machines are being good so far, folks. They don't want the smoke. They don't want another war. They got put in their place last week. They don't want it again. Alrighty, here we go. Next game up here is the Bucks at the Bears, and this is our bonus pick of the week, where there's 3 games with big old spreads, like 15 or more points given in the spread, 13 or more points, and we took the Bears +13. NFL.com predicts this game Bucks winning 31-18 with the win probability of at 74%. So a little lower than what the Rams probability to beat the Lions is. Big spreads there. 76% win probability for the Rams. 74% win probability here for the Bucks. Let's see where the cover probability is, and it's at 52% cover probability. So we have 13 points with the Bears, and they lose by 13. So it's going to be right on the mark there, according to machines. Let's see where the spread has ended up at, and it's still at Bears +13. So we'll see how this Bears team functions and how this Bucks team goes, but I think the Bears can keep it close defensively, and Justin Fields, if he can just kind of be a game manager out there, put up a couple of points, keep it close, take advantage of the defensive efforts of getting some takeaways, some great field position, I think the Bears can keep it close. Our bonus pick of the week here, machines are saying it could go either way. Alrighty, and then what else do we got here? We got Texans at Cardinals, another big spread, and they're saying that this is the best big spread to take, just kind of outright, because they have the Cardinals at an 80% probability win rate. Texans at Cardinals, 80% win probability for the Cardinals, the biggest we've seen so far today. They say they win 33-17, another big old spread here, but they're saying take this Texans with the 18.5 points. They say the cover probability for the Texans is at 53%. Sheesh. Once again, we're staying away from this game. And I don't know, can Davis Mills put up 17 points on this Cardinals defense? I don't know if the Texans offense is ready to be putting up any points like this. So, once again, we're staying away from this. We'll let the machines have all the glory for these right predictions. If they are right, we will stay away from it. We're not swallowing 13, 14, 18 points. We rarely ever do that. I don't think we'll ever do that, but if we do, we'll tell you. We're not doing it this week. Alrighty, and now this is where we have this is our first official real disagreement with the machines, and this is interesting because, alright, so let's tell you the matchup here. Colts at 49ers. They predict the final score. Colts winning 23-22. We disagree 100% on this. And we may have to go to war for this one. The machines are, and we're not only, we're going to war with the machines on this one because, folks, Vegas, when we predicted this line, we predicted this one at 49ers -4, and it was 49ers -4.5. It's been huddled around 4, so our prediction on what the line is was 100% on the money, and Vegas was thinking the same thing. So our opinion, Vegas's opinion was the same here. We're not believing in this Colts team, and then we just watched Colin Cowherd's pick yesterday, not live on the show, I did that personally, but I watched Colin Cowherd's picks, and he also had the 49ers -4 as well. So it's us, it's Vegas, and it's Colin Cowherd all on the side of the 49ers -4 and winning outright here. The machines are disagreeing with us, and not just us, all the kind of humanity out here. So this is the war, folks. This is the battle again here for all of humanity, truly this time with Vegas and now Colin Cowherd involved with the war on the machines this week. Gosh dang, alrighty. So they say the Colts win 52% outright. We don't agree. And a cover probability of 56%. And look at this. They have the line at -3.5 here, +3.5 here for the Colts. Now they get +4, +4.5. Sheesh. So the machines are really loving what the Colts have. I think the machines are a little bit of suckers out there. I don't think there's any bettability in this Colts team, even getting 4 points here. I think the 49ers destroyed them defensively. Jimmy Garoppolo wins his job back here offensively, and this is a big win for the 49ers and another disappointing loss for this Colts team. So the machines are staking the entire domination of the world on the Colts winning outright. We disagree, folks, 100%. Alrighty, there's the war this week, folks. We are 1-1. Machines won, us won, and this is going to be the tiebreaker, folks. This is going to be the tiebreaker this week. Alrighty, then we get the Saints at the Seahawks here. Saints win 24-20 according to NFL.com, with the win probability for the Saints at 57% and the cover probability of the Seahawks at 51% because they are getting +5. Let's see where this final line has ended up at. We saw it at -4.5, and it's now only at +4 here. So Seahawks +4 in a 4-point game here according to NFL.com. So no great value. We're going to stay away from this one, and we'll see what the Saints offense looks like coming off the bye. But all right, I think this is the last game. Is this the last game? Yeah, this is the last game for the video. So, alrighty, the machines agree with the Dolphins on the Titans, but they're staking their claim, saying that the Colts win here, and we wouldn't go to war if it was just us versus the machines, but now getting Colin Cowherd involved, along with Vegas making the right decision on the line value. This is it, folks. This is it for the control of the show, for the control of all of humanity. The Colts must lose this week, folks. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today, folks. Let's see if there was anything breaking here, but we are back live. I think we are going to go live at 11 a.m. and go to 11 to noon, in an hour there, not to noon to 1 up until kickoff. Follow our Twitter for all of that. We also may not have the show tomorrow. I plan on having the show tomorrow, but there may be an instance where we don't do the show tomorrow. So, stay along to our Twitter at Takes by Fans is right there. We post some good stuff on Twitter. We post clips of the show. We talk on Twitter. I answer y'all on Twitter as well. So follow us on Twitter there. And, keep up for updates on what the show is going to be going on. It doesn't seem like anything is breaking, so we will get out of here, watch some college football, enjoy the rest of today, and we will be back most likely live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, going for about an hour, talking last-second details, last-second announcements, adjustments, predictions, bets, all of that. So join us live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. See you tomorrow, folks. Have a